Chapter 2. The Archangel. Amanda finally regained her composure. Not many have seen his ship in person before, and lived to tell about it. Everyone in the crew began to wonder what the hell had happened. Was the Archangel helping Jack? Just then, the Archangel's ship came to life and began moving under the SR-1. Xavier. Sam. What the hell's going on? Sam didn't reply. Amanda. Sam. Respond. What the hell's going on? She asked in a worried voice. Finally, Sam responded, I'm sorry, Dave. I can't let you do that. Everyone on the bridge gasped. What the fuck? Xavier. Sam. What the fuck are you doing? Sam. I'm opening the pod bay doors. He began singing Daisy Bell in a creepy, robotic voice. The lights on the bridge began to glow red. Everyone exclaimed, What the fuck is going on? The Archangel's ship began to enter the SR-1's loading bay under the ship. Sam immediately stopped singing and announced, Docking complete. He then added, The Archangel's ship is on board, before singing in a deep, bassy voice, Welcome home, you've arrived. Amanda. What in the serious fuck, Sam? Her voice cracked. Sam. Well, Jack was right, none of you have a sense of humor. Everyone looked confused. Xavier. Sam. What did you say? Sam. I said Jack says none of you have a sense of humor. Xavier. Why would he say that? He's the one who programmed this entire sequence. Sam. I have a confession to make. Jack's the one who programmed the distress signal protocol. Xavier. Yes, I'm aware of that, Sam. Sam. Yes, Commander, but none of you knew there was a failsafe. All any of you had to do was say please, and I could have stopped the ship anywhere in the galaxy. Given that no one spoke up, I let the program do its thing, and here we are. Helmsman Tom spoke up. Bullshit. I tried everything, but I couldn't get anything to work. Sam. Exactly. You couldn't. But I could've. All you had to do was say please. Xavier. That's fucked up, Sam. Tell me we have control of the ship. Tell me you know why we're here. Sam. Relax, Commander. Everything is as it should be. Well, except for the Archangel's ship down below. That's not funny, Amanda said nervously. Just then, Jennifer came over the intercom. Jennifer Cross runs our security and infantry unit. Her wife, Beth, is a nurse and head understudy under Dr. Laura Chris. Commander, you might want to get down here immediately. Dr. Chris has already unloaded Jack. He's in sick bay. It's not good, Commander. It's not good at all. I snapped back to reality. Jennifer, who gave her that authority? Jennifer. Commander, I don't think she gives a fuck about anyone's authority at the moment. She is rallying the troops right now. It's a real mess down here. Xavier. Jennifer, secure the Archangel's ship immediately. I want to speak to Archangel. Jennifer. I think that's going to be a problem, she replied, sounding very confused. Xavier. Jennifer. What the fuck are you talking about? Jennifer. Just get down here, Commander. Xavier looked at Amanda. Let's go. They headed to the main elevator. Xavier thought. What the fuck could have happened? First, he activated his distress signal. Sam admitted he had been programmed to recreate a movie scene from Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey, just for this exact scenario. Amanda must have seen my face. You okay, Commander? No, I replied. Amanda, please tell me you don't have any secrets. Amanda, well, when I was 5, I had an imaginary friend. Xavier. Amanda, you're not helping. Amanda, sorry. She giggled. When I'm nervous, I make jokes. It helps calm my anxiety. Could I blame her? Jack had been missing for a week, and the whole crew was on edge. The elevator stopped on the main crew deck. What now? Xavier exhaled as the door opened. Standing there was a beautiful old woman with pale blue skin and long black hair, covered by a veil. She smiled and said, Commander. Xavier wanted to speak, but had no words. Amanda. Arya, can it wait? Arya. I hear the Archangel's ship is aboard. Amanda. Yes, Arya. We're currently on our way to see Jack. He's in sick bay and has been badly injured. We still don't know all the details. Arya, Amanda, if you would be so kind as to let us go. Amanda. Arya, I'm heading the same way. Dr. Chris requested me.
What? Why?
Xavier said. Arya ignored the question, got in the elevator, and said, Let's go. We have already wasted too much time speculating. We finally arrived at the facility deck of the ship. Jennifer was right, it was a real fucking mess. Everyone scrambled to grab medical equipment. I tried to contain myself. My friend, my brother, was somewhere in that mess. I knew Laura would take care of him. She'd do the best she could. Just then Xavier heard. Commander, over here. It was Jennifer. Hey, listen, we just did a full sweep of the Archangel's ship, and Jennifer paused. Well, we found out Jack wasn't alone. What do you mean? Xavier replied. Just look over there. There was an Asian woman with blue hair, holding a katana, sitting on a crate, shaking and oblivious to everything around her. She looked to be about 31 years of age. Who's that? Asked Xavier. Jennifer. Not sure. She wouldn't give us her name. We found her in the ship, shaking. It took Beth and Laura just to get her this far. Xavier. So who the hell is flying the ship? Jennifer. It was on autopilot. When Jack activated his distress signal, it probably kicked in. Jennifer. And that's not all. All of a sudden, we spotted a cat in custom body armor laying on a chair. Xavier? Scout, yelled Xavier. The cat responded with a tired meow. That's Jack's cat, Scout. His armor looked beat up. Suddenly, we heard a loud boom, 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 boom. Large-sounding footsteps. Everything was so chaotic that nobody even noticed or flinched. Then we saw it, a large robot. It was indeed Jack's Titan. It stood about 20 feet tall at full height, but it was currently standing at 10 feet to accommodate the size of the ship, trying to find a place to settle down. It looked a little battle-worn. Before I could even decide what to do, or what to say, Laura screamed out for us. I could use some extra help. Over here. Amanda and Arya rushed over to help in any way they could. I was so oblivious to everything. Jennifer. Xavier. Where the hell is Archangel? He has to be here, right? Jennifer. That's the thing, Commander. It's only Jack, the Asian woman, the Titan, and the cat. We searched that ship up and down. He's not hiding anywhere on this ship, is he? Xavier. No, Sam would have told us. Jennifer. It's really strange. Xavier. Run an extra sweep. In a ship that size, he's got to be hiding somewhere. Put security on high alert. I need answers. Jennifer. Okay, Commander. As you wish. I started walking toward the med bay. This is all too fucking strange. Did Jack steal the Archangel ship? That's something he would do. None of this makes sense. I finally made it into the med bay, but I still didn't see Jack anywhere. Instead, I saw a little girl lying on a comfy gurney, the memory gel adjusting as she played with a toy on her lying on her back. She pointed and asked, Are you going to save him? I'm not a doctor, little one, Xavier replied. The little girl, no more than 11 or 12 years old, with brown hair and pale skin, responded, I know that. But you'll try to help, won't you? Yes, Xavier replied. He saved us, the little girl replied. Mother and Paul and the 15 children were living underground for a few days. We were waiting for transport to go to another orphanage, but it never came. We were so hungry and running low on rations. One of the boys, Zach, decided to go to the market and pickpocket. He was caught by one of the people he pickpocketed. The man tried to break his arm, but then the Archangel came out of nowhere and saved him. Zach grabbed something out of the Archangel's pocket. I don't remember what it was, but the Archangel was not happy. Zach made it back to where we were staying. He thought he was safe, proud he had pickpocketed the Archangel and gotten away. Breathing heavily, everyone wondered what had just happened. Zach said to everyone, You're never gonna believe who I just saw. Everyone gasped. What are you all staring at? Zach asked, turning to see the Archangel standing before him, his eyes glowing blue. Zach, too shocked to speak, heard the Archangel say, Give it back. Zach's body trembled. Did you hear me? The Archangel asked. Zack shook his head. The Archangel waved his hand, and Zack began to float toward him. The Archangel reached out, trying to take back what Zack had stolen. Just then, one of the girls ran up with a sharp object, trying to stab the Archangel. She wasn't fast enough. The Archangel's eyes began to glow red, and he threw her into the air, holding her in place with his other hand, choking her. "Release it," he said, "and I will let you go." The girl gasped for air, trying even harder to stab the Archangel. She began to lose consciousness, and her hand dropped the sharp object. The Archangel released her, and she gently dropped to the ground. Mother came out. "What are you doing? They're only children. What kind of man would do this? What kind of child would steal something that doesn't belong to them?" the Archangel replied. "And then the other tried to stab me." "They're scared of you," Mother said.
I can see that, the Archangel said.
He finally took back what Zack had stolen from him and released Zack, throwing him in Mother's direction. With her hand behind her back, Mother was holding something to protect herself. "So, you chased down a child for a stolen book?" "It's not just a book," the Archangel said. "It has value to me. I saved the boy from getting his arm broken by the man he pickpocketed." Mother dropped the object behind her. It was glowing red. The Archangel noticed. "Fascinating," he said to himself. As she was staring, Zack, still catching his breath and wide-eyed, said, "Is this true?" "Yes, Mother, it's true. I was just so hungry. I thought if I could get a little money, I could feed a few of us until our transportation arrives." Mother looked disappointed, and in all the commotion, no one realized there was a little girl on the ground who had fallen out of her chair. Her eyes were full of tears from being scared and in immense pain. She tried moving her arms to crawl away or just hide, but her lower body wasn't cooperating. The Archangel, looking down, could feel her pain. With a raise of his hand, she began to float toward him, his arms outstretched. Paul, a heavy-set man with olive skin and dark hair, had seen enough. He yelled at the Archangel, "Don't you lay a hand on her." "Grace, it's going to be okay," he said as he tried to rush toward her. Mother put her hand out, stopping Paul from moving. Grace, now lying in the Archangel's arms with tears in her eyes, looked up at him. The Archangel said, "Rest now, my love. Let me ease your pain." He put a finger to her forehead, and just like that, she fell asleep. "Where does she sleep?" the Archangel asked, walking toward Mother and Paul with Grace in his arms. "Over here," Paul said. "It's not much, but it's the best we can do for the time being." The Archangel handed Grace to Paul, who embraced her like a loving father and laid her down gently. "Mother, I think she'll be all right. None of the children have slept well. We're running low on rations, and transportation was supposed to be here days ago. We've been trying to get off the planet, which is proving to be difficult." Archangel says, "Food I can help with. Transportation might be tricky, security's pretty tight at the moment, and smugglers are causing a whole mess of problems. I'm looking for one of them. That's why I'm here, trying to collect a bounty." Archangel was true to his word. Grace said, "When I woke up, there was so much food I couldn't eat it all, and there were a few toys to pick from. I got this," pointing to her stuffed elephant. "He's pink. I've never seen one before." Kelly, one of the other kids, said, "They're not real." Xavier replies, "They're just not pink. If we make it back to Earth, I will show you." One day, Grace's blue eyes filled with happiness. "You mean it? Hold out your pinky," Xavier says. "I pinky promise." "What is a pinky promise?" Grace asks. Xavier says, "It's an unbreakable promise. I can't break it." Grace smiled. Indeed, the Archangel was true to his word. The kids were picked up along with Mother and Paul. Xavier thought we did receive a call from Jack asking us to pick up some orphans. We were on our way anyway. Good timing or a coincidence? Maybe. This is just getting stranger. I've got to see Jack. "Thanks for the chat, Grace," Xavier said. "We will talk again soon." "I promise." Grace smiled and went back to playing with her toy, squeezing her stuffed elephant. I can see why the Archangel took care of her. The poor girl, her spine was a mess. All she's ever known is pain. I finally passed the lab just a little further. Everyone was in the operating room. This ship has everything: a full medical bay, a lab, and 2 operating rooms. It just goes on and on. Not to mention, we're holding the Archangel's ship in the cargo bay, with plenty of room to spare. The engineers and designers thought of everything. The doors opened, and everyone was still working on Jack. Careful. He has to be placed in the tank carefully. Everyone ready. Then, splash. I looked to see what the hell they were putting him into. It was some kind of tank filled with water that was glowing blue and purple. He had a mask over his face. It was a respirator. Okay, everyone, Laura said. We've done all we can. All we can do now is wait and hope he comes out of his coma sooner rather than later. Amanda spotted me. I was confused. Why was Jack put in the tank? Xavier, Amanda said. Jack's in a coma. What the hell happened? I said. Amanda, what do you know? We were able to stabilize him, she replied. Arya is biotic. She was able to jumpstart Jack's healing process, reviving his cells. Everything seems to be working, but his body is still so weak. Hence the deprivation tank. The only difference is that it is loaded with vitamins and minerals, everything to help a biotic like Jack recover. What would take months in the healing process now takes only hours or days. We've come a long way in the medical field. Yes, we have, Xavier replied. One thing is still bothering me, I said. What's that, Amanda? Xavier asked. Nobody seems to know where Archangel is, I replied. Just then Laura chimed in. Isn't it obvious, Xavier? What's obvious? I yelled. Everyone looked shocked. I guess we were yelling. Laura responded, Jack's the bloody Archangel. What? Xavier said. Amanda pointed at a table. Look. I turned my head and saw body armor, nothing like I had seen before, fully custom. Jack was wearing it, Amanda said in a matter-of-fact tone. Jack's the Archangel, Xavier. We took his armor off ourselves. It fits his body and his body alone, Amanda added. Everyone nodded in agreement. That was a fact. The man in the tank, my best friend, my brother, was the most wanted man in the galaxy. He was the Archangel. There was a big bounty on his head from multiple gangs. You name it, they wanted him dead. But one group wanted him dead more than anyone else. The Six. The bounty they put on him just keeps getting higher and higher every day. Anyone going up against him must have a death wish. And now, I was face to face with him. Everyone on the crew could use the money. They would become rich in minutes, once they provided the proof. But nobody would dare lay a finger on him. Why would they? After all, he's the man of the people, the man who helps. I don't even think he came up with the name Archangel. I know Jack is too humble to do that. The people gave him the name. I started seeing Archangel logos everywhere. About a year and a half ago, after the trial of Echo 1, Jack was called a murderer. I'm pretty sure you heard about it. A disaster and disgrace where soldiers went on a murderous rampage. The news loved it. It couldn't be further from the truth. We were just pawns in a game of corruption. That was 2 years ago, and I will never forget it. I don't think Jack has either. Maybe that's what drove him to be a vigilante and find those responsible. We didn't talk much after being acquitted, lucky us. Both of us were stuck at home under constant surveillance and house arrest. Jack, well, he was doing just fine. As I said, he started a company, so he had no money problems that I know of. As for me, I was living off my sister. The divorce took it out of me financially. Echo 1 was supposed to be an easy job to help me get back on my feet. But life kicks you when you're down. I ended up getting a job welding and soon became a supervisor, managing a few jobs. Things were looking okay. After the acquittal, nobody asked what the hell had happened. I have nightmares about it. I never told Claire. I didn't want to scare her. After all, she was pregnant. I don't know what happened with her and Jack, but I know it took a toll on her. She would never love someone the way she loved Jack. I guess when your boyfriend is called a murderer, which was true, but he killed in self-defense. At least that's what the evidence shows. I was there. That's what happened. Claire gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and she named him Pete Xavier after our late grandfather. Fast forward a couple of years, and we are celebrating Pete's 10th birthday. Everyone is having a good time when Claire collapses on the floor. When she wakes up, I have to tell her the horrible news. She starts crying and replies, "It's cancer." "How did you know?"
I ask.
"I was diagnosed 2 years ago. They said it might get more aggressive." "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't want to concern you and Pete with my health." I got so angry with her that I don't even remember the conversation. Xavier stands in front of the table, looking at Archangel's armor. "Laura," Xavier says, "how long do you think the coma is going to last?" "I don't know," Laura replies in an English accent. "He was a fucking mess. Something did a number on him. I've never seen these types of wounds before. I can say it's going to be a few days at least. The man needs to rest." Xavier says, "Sam?" "Yes, Commander," Sam replies. "We have to drop off these kids at the orphanage on Alpha 9. How long will that take at our current speed?" "Well, today is Monday, so we'll be there by Thursday," Sam says, "assuming you don't want to rush." "Weathers, are you there?" Xavier says. "Yes, Commander." "Lay in a course for Alpha 9. "Aye, Commander." "And Sam?" "Yes, Commander." "If we pick up any more distress signals, disregard them." "That's an order." "I need to think," Xavier says. "If anyone needs me, I'll be in the galley. I need a large pot of coffee." The rest of the day was kind of a blur. The kids were playing, and Amanda and Arya took care of the Asian woman. Other than that, everyone went about their day, as if nothing were wrong. I checked the time, it was almost 10 p.m. I had been sitting up in the captain's quarters, thinking about Jack. "Sam?" "Yes, Commander?" "Give me a sitrep on Jack's vitals." Sam replies, "Everything is normal. Nothing new to report." "Thank you, Sam." "My pleasure, Commander." I couldn't just sit here. I had to see him, talk to him, and give him a piece of my mind. He may be unconscious, but don't people in comas claim they can hear you? Well, we're about to find out. I head down to the med bay. It's 10:45 p.m., and there's nobody here. They must be out. "There he is," I say in a drunken voice. "Okay, I had a couple of drinks, maybe too many, but here we are." I pull up a chair and sit in front of the tank. "Jack, Jack, Jack, can you hear me?" I knock on the glass. "Oh, come on, Jack," I say sarcastically. "Don't be shy." I see a large bubble pop from his respirator as his chest rises. He takes a deep breath and exhales again. I look at the brain monitor, and it's active. "Jack, or should I say Archangel? It doesn't matter. When were you going to tell me you were the most wanted man in the galaxy? Rumor has it you've already taken down 3 members of the 6. And, I believe it. The bounty on your head went up to 10 billion credits, bringing the total so far to 30 billion. They wanted him dead. He was a threat, someone they couldn't pay off. This was vengeance in every sense of the word." "Jack," Xavier says. "Do you remember her? Do you ever think of Claire?" Another deep breath, a large bubble, more brain activity. "Good," Xavier says. "You can understand me. I had to watch my sister die. Do you know what it feels like, Jack? Well, you were there for her last days. She was so happy to see you. I've never seen so much happiness on her face since Pete was born. What did you two even talk about? I'm curious. Did you tell her that you love her?" "You're a fucking liar. You're a piece of shit. You left her when she needed you most. She met someone new. And she had a kid with that asshole who left her because their baby had a disability. Pete's autistic on the spectrum, low level. The doctor said he can live a normal life with a few medications." Claire never lost hope. Every Sunday, she would leave an extra plate on the table, thinking one day you would show up. She never stopped this ritual. Jack, me, and Pete would eat so much fucking spaghetti. She could cook. Everything was always made from scratch. She loved home-cooked meals and being together. She could stretch $1, an old earth saying. But she never lost hope. She always saw the good in everything and always knew you would return. I will never forget the day when Pete was a little older. He found a photo of you and me from Echo 1 from our unit and he said to Claire, "Is that Uncle Jack?" Claire replied, "Yes, Pete." "He and Uncle James look happy," Pete said. "They were," Claire replied. Pete said, "What happened?" "That's a long story," Claire said. "Your Uncle James will have to tell you that story when the time is right." "Oh, it's a grown-up story." I'm afraid so, Claire said. Pete says, Uncle James said you and Uncle Jack used to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Uncle James has been telling you quite a few stories, it seems. Pete smiles and says, why are you not boyfriend and girlfriend anymore? Sometimes grown-ups need a break, Claire says. Pete says, you didn't love each other anymore? Claire, you could say that. Will you ever fall in love with him again? Claire replies, Mommy has always loved Uncle Jack. He will always have a place in Mommy's heart. Claire starts giving Pete many kisses, and he begins to laugh uncontrollably. That is but a memory now, Jack. One that I will always remember. The cancer got worse and worse, Jack. The medical bills were piling up. They tried everything, chemotherapy and radiation, but nothing worked. One day, the insurance called and said we would have to move Claire home. They wouldn't cover anything else. Claire was so exhausted. I was behind on so many bills, and both bank accounts were overdrawn. I remember crying on the way to the hospital. When I got to her room, she wasn't there. I began thinking the worst and ran to the nurse's station. Excuse me, I'm looking for my sister, I said. The nurse looked up at me and asked, You are? James Xavier, I replied. My sister is Claire Xavier. Just a moment, the nurse said, looking something up on the computer. Your sister has been moved to the East Wing. Take the elevator to the 10th floor, Hall N, room number 5. Why would she be moved? Today was the day I was supposed to take her home. How do I explain all this to her? We have no money. The accounts are overdrawn. I began to walk to the elevator. 10th floor, Hall N, room number 5. The elevator doors opened, and I looked at the wall. An AI popped up. May I help you? I'm here to see Claire Xavier. Ah, yes. She's expecting you. James Xavier Jr. You're on the visitor list. Please follow the highlighted route. The floor began to light up. What the fuck? I thought, this is some fancy shit. I started walking to room 5. The hallways were beautiful. I kept thinking this was a dream. I rang a little doorbell, and Pete opened the door. Uncle James, you made it. Yeah, buddy, I did. The room was bigger than our house. My sister was sitting in the window loft, having breakfast. James, she smiled. Can you believe this room? Yeah, it's incredible. How did this happen? I don't know, Claire replied. I got this letter this morning. She handed James the letter, which said, My dearest Claire, I'm so sorry to hear about your cancer diagnosis. I will do all I can to help. Consider all your debts paid. I hope you find the room comfortable. I hope we can find a cure soon. With love, Archangel. What the fuck? Claire exclaimed. Language. Sorry. Consider your debts paid? What does that even mean?
Claire said.
I don't know. Claire, we were supposed to go home today. I said. We have no money left in our savings. We're pretty much living paycheck to paycheck. We're behind.
Claire looked at me.
That's funny, because the bank just called this morning. The house is paid off, and there was a massive anonymous deposit into our accounts.
What?
I said, immediately logging into the bank account. The available balance showed 2 million credits. Have you seen the bank account?
Claire asked.
Yes, I replied. Things are looking up. Finally, there's hope. I couldn't help but feel happy. A tremendous weight had lifted off our shoulders. Maybe she was right. Maybe they could find a cure, and we could live again. A few weeks later, you appeared out of thin air. I haven't seen you in over 2 years, since the trial, and now you finally make an appearance, just in time to see Claire die. How could you? Xavier starts crying. I fucking believed in you. Why didn't you save her? Why? He gets up from his chair and starts punching the glass. Answer me. All of a sudden, the water turns purple. I hear a loud voice say, Enough. A woman appears in the water with Jack. Xavier, shocked, falls backward, trying to scoot away. Claire. Xavier says in a shocked and frightened voice. Author notes, looks like a Xavier saw a ghost. I hope you guys enjoyed chapter 2. I'm going to try to post a chapter every 2 weeks. Again, apologies for my grammar and typos also. I want to recommend another author, Amanda Panda. She inspired me to write the Titan Protocol. Check out her book here on Wattpad titled, Learning to Love, Learning to Love. My name is Rose. At least that's what I've always been called in school, at least for the last 2 years that LV been able to attend anyways. One night I'm found by the police and taken to the hospital. After learning where I was taken, I ran. I couldn't possibly ever be loved by anyone. I was just a mistake, an accident. Wasn't supposed to live past my first birthday, and the fact that I had made it until I turned 12. At least I think that's how old I am was the greatest accomplishment of all, right?